Hello everybody, this is Janice aka Scrapper's Delights, and I'm here again with another video as promised. This time it'll be about the larger digital planner. It's the same contents as the last one, so all the same documents will be seen in it. So I do advise you to perhaps have a little look at the last video I did. Although it's on the A5, the documents is still the same. I'm not going to bore you or bore myself by repeating all of what's in there as such. I just want to give you a little bit of an update on how it's different, what the size is, how it compares to the A5, so that you've got an informed choice to which will be the best for you. So when you go to my store and you go to my planners category up here, you will see the A5 and large clearly sectioned, so you will be able to get the corresponding kits and things, stickers, whatever may come out in the future to that relevant planner size. So I currently have the large planner, as you can see, identified by the large L, and it's, as I said before, the exact same contents, but just you'll have slightly different printing method, and it's on a larger scale. The other category I have in here is colour planner kits, which I have a couple in cute ones in here at the moment, which give you a few ideas for backgrounds that you can colour, and your Monday, Tuesdays and Wednesdays tailored to a specific style or theme for a kit. So this is the giraffe one, and this is the bat hero kit, and this is the superheroes. So don't know if I've got yeah, so those are in there. I'm also planning to do coloured planner kits, so ready to print, and for those of you that perhaps don't like colouring, don't want to, they will be coming soon. Okay, so once you've downloaded your kit, you'll get 3 files. I'm going to jump straight to the second one for now, and just show you that you will have a load of yellow files, which will have your 2 versions of the document. Now, the reason you've got 2 versions of the document is because, unlike the A5, it was fairly easy being A5, 2 to a page on a portrait, to just literally find the middle and cut down. So all I needed to do was give you a middle line, and you just cut down it, and you already had your size perfect. Unfortunately, with the bigger size, it's not going to be that easy. So what I've done is I've done one with a little black grid round, which is your page size for cutting, and then one that is plain. I did this so that when you're doing back to back, only one of your page images should have the black line round it, to help you with your cutting via guillotine, scissors, whatever you're going to do. If you do both with no line, then you do have the freedom to be able to cut it to your own preference and actually make the planner that bit bigger, so you can have more borders around it. For example, there's not so much border at the bottom on my one as perhaps you've seen in other planners, so you might like to use your washi tape. So you do have the freedom to be able to cut to your own size. But if you do 2 back to back with the line, it won't actually be exactly the same on the other side. No matter how much I tried, it just did not seem to want to mirror. And you don't want any slight black lines that when you've cut it out perfectly on the other side, there's a tiny little bit of black line on the other side. So literally the document sits perfectly because there's lovely borders space around it, as you can see here, that when you cut it, the image behind it, whatever the document is still going to have enough border and cutting space. It's a bit like when you have the stickers, and when it's going to go through, say, your silhouette and the cutting, you do an over bleed of the colour so that if there's any slippage, it's got margin of error for cutting. And this is the same sort of thing that I'm talking about, the fact that if you do 2 lines the other side, you possibly could, your printer could slip or whatever, and you may still see that black line. So just one side. Like I said, all of the documents in here are exactly the same as the one before. You're going to still have all of your things to be able to cut for your months, your numbers and tabs and all sorts of things, so that you can put your tabs at the side of the planner. Okay, so you're still going to have your sheets to be able to decorate, if you so wish, the panels, being your panels for the months, the weeks, and also for the notes or the column spaces. So going back to that first folder, it says ready to print. Ooh. What I've done here is I've sort of given you the basic setup as what I would see as being the obvious choice to put things back to back. So you've got a front cover, and then on the back of that you'd most likely put your planner belongs to. Then you'd probably have your yearly planner, and on the back of that would just be a plain sheet, and you would have your year at a glance. Then on the back of that you might have, say, your gifts, etc, etc. And the way I've tried to do it is one with a grid, one without a grid, one with a grid, one without a grid, so you're not having to try and think up, oh, you know, which one am I going to put a grid on. If you want to be able to have the creative scope to do it, whatever you want to do, just leave this folder, go into here. Right, I want to print out my my overlook. I'm going to choose this one to be gridded, and what I want on the back of it is, and then you choose that, and then that one would be blank. So let's go and print off let me have a look, a month. So let me have a look. Here we go. Here's your month's basic front cover. You can print straight, you know, get your image and put it straight onto this and print it out if you know how to do it, or you can print your image and then cut it out and stick it onto here. You can stamp straight onto it, whatever you want. I'm not going to print one of those out because I just want to show you just a little bit. Then I'm going to actually go to showing you one that I've already printed out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose to print the weekly. So here we go, print. Always take off the fit to picture frame or fit to borders, whatever you may have on your printers, because it tends to stretch your images and to the actual size of your paper. So when you do your first one, like I'm doing now, you have to think about roughly what you're going to have on the other side. Now I'm going to leave this one blank on here, which actually that one should have probably had a border around it. So let's do that one again, choose the border. Where has it gone? Print. So put that one back in again so that I can get that one there. There we go. Right, take that off. I really wish that you could set it up that you don't want it on at all. Don't have to keep unticking, but for some unknown reason I do need to. And I will then want the opposite side, and if you notice it's slightly off centre, and I've done this because this will always be a right hand side page, so when the grid goes on the other side you will have enough room to be able to hold punch or whatever you're gonna do. So there's your first one that I've done, and you would cut round that, but I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm going to print the next one off. So I'm going to choose the one with the grid around it again. So print, fit to picture. Wait for that one to come out. Now you can print, I mean you can cut with your guillotines however you like. I'm not very good with guillotines for some unknown reason. They still end up not being straight. I don't know why, but I like to use these big huge scissors. You can pretty much do it with just one cut or maybe 1.5, which gives me a really smooth cutting. But how you do it is entirely up to you. But this is how I prefer to cut, and you can buy these scissors pretty much anywhere in your grocery stores or cheap stores. They're easy to sharpen. They're easier on your hands than the smaller scissors because you know you're not having your fingers pinched. I know it's pretty boring seeing me cut, but I'm unfortunately, being my second video, I'm not really got the technical knowledge for fast and editing and speeding the videos up and that sort of thing. So unfortunately my videos for now, until I'm learnt those parts, are going to be pretty much just a general informal chit chat. Right, so my next sheet's just come off and I'm going to want to print on the back of that. Now I've done a grid, so now I want to choose one without the grid, which is the opposite. Just done one with the column on. Now I want one with the full grid, and you will have to work out which is the right way for you on your printers to get it back to back. So now I just go print that off. be out in a second. And I'll just quickly show you that one. So as you can see here, no grid, one grid. And I'm going to quickly just come off screen because I can do it quicker and cut that out. Let's have a look. Nearly there. Another 2 sides to go. So as you can see on here, you've got the area that you would hole punch, and then on the back you've got the same. The hole punch will go on this margin here. Okay, and it fits in perfectly. You don't see the black lines or anything. So that's how you would do to get the right size for your pages. Like I say, you don't have to use large scissors like I've just done. You can certainly use a guillotine if you so wish. Now, I am going to face you down so you can see what I'm doing here, and I do apologise. This room's not very good where I'm sitting for casting a shadow where my tripod is. So I will do the best I can, and I'm pretty sure once we get into it you won't even see the shadow. So, okay, there's our sheets that we've just done, and you can hole punch, ring bind, however you want to do it. But I personally like the mini disc systems. They're done by Happy Planner, and you can get them in 3 different sizes. I do show them on the other video in more detail, and I do have the hole punch, which is what I will show you quickly now so that I can put these into my thing. I'll just line them up into here, and there we go, and you've got your teeth marks, and literally you just pop them into your Happy Planner. This is a little bit well, it needs a lot more to go into this planner. It's a little bit light at the moment. I'm just literally building it up, whereas this is the A5 one that I just did the other day, and you can see there's a lot more I've done in there, and it's looking a lot more healthier and holding your discs in place better than these seem to be. So don't worry about what's happening with my disc system here. It's because I've not completely filled it up. But here you can see the side-by-side comparison of the differences in size with the A5 and the larger one. So if you're using the disc system, the best way I can put it is the A5, you use one less disc. So you've got one disc left over. So if I put it to the side, top and to the side here, that's how much extra you've got. Which doesn't actually look a lot, really, but you will see the difference when we actually go to say a weekly. So that's a weekly on the A5, and this is the weekly in the other one. So you can see you've got a lot more space to decorate, to plan, than you have on this one. you've got a little bit more space here for decorating with washi tapes and things if you want to. It has slightly been sacrificed on here, but again, if you want to make your planner even bigger, you can ignore using my suggested black line grid and use your own sizing. Just remember that you're going to be needing to set your guillotine, I would suggest, to a set size for cutting, so that you are getting the page exactly right, because the last thing you want to do is see pages slightly bigger than others up and to the side. Hence why I did this. Okay, but this is a really nice size. If I'd have made it a bit bigger, for example, the disc system probably would have had quite a bit of overhang each end, and yeah, I wanted us to have as much space as possible on the documents, not sacrificing too much creative space. I mean, you really have got a lot here in your column and at the top. So okay, as I said before, you've got plenty of creative space on the front cover and the dividers, and they are all basic templates in your kits. You can decorate them however you want. These are my Fruity Babes, and here's one that I've slightly decoupaged with one layer, and that still looks really good in your planner and isn't going to sacrifice too much. So I love decoupage. That's why I love cutting, fussy cutting. My favourite one for this is my crafty girls, and there's some with markers and paintbrushes and all sorts of things. So if you like to colour and paint, then you can use a little crafty girl in your planner to represent you and colour its hair however you like, to your colour or not. Right, okay, so the way I've quickly set this one out is fairly logical, in the fact that you've got your yearly overview, goals, yearly goals, that one will be, the birthdays, gifts, etc., to-do lists, and I've got a quick April front cover here that I will decorate, and I will be doing some videos on me decorating this planner, because I probably will be using the larger one rather than the A5 one when I'm showing examples or plan along with me sessions. This is an example of one of the sheets that you would print off to be able to decorate and put into your planner. So that's it's the weekend. You've got your tabs. Now you would get 2 of these because you'd want them back to back, so that you'll be able to see it from both sides on your pages. And for example, you've got numbers and months, you've got your weekdays, they're all there. There's another one which actually has your sections for yearly planning, goals. If you wish to put them all part as your 1 month, you can. You don't have to use the sections that I've provided in there, but they are there if you want them. You could have a section of just to-do lists, or you can literally put one to-do list in every month of your planner. Entirely up to you how you want to do that. So let's move on. this is the monthly overview, and again, you can use it or not use it without the weekly. Instead of the weekly, just have a monthly. It's entirely up to you how you like to plan. But you saw that there was some decoration patterns. They fit beautifully over the squares, and they come in many different patterns in this kit. I've done just a few for you to use. Bear in mind the colours that you if you did them really dark colours, you're going to have a hard job writing in your plans over them. So just be mindful of that. Or you can sort of like go to your WH Smiths or your local stationery shops and buy like your little white stickers, and just pop it over there, your label stickers, and you get them in all different sizes, circles, squares. So it's entirely up to you how you want to do that for the monthly. Again, you've got your month. I've not literally printed them at the top because that limits your creativity, because you could have it here, you could have it over here, you could have it here, you could have it at the bottom, wherever you like. You've got these, which are your days of the week, and you can pop them over the top here. You've got your numbers, which I've just done a few of them here, and pop them on here. Again, you can use them if you wish. Some people have their own stamps, physical stamps that they have to, planner stamps that have Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, April, your numbers, and maybe you want to use those instead of these, or in conjunction with them. It's entirely up to you. You might find that cutting out the numbers is just a little too much, and too fussy cutting. I personally love cutting, and I'll sit and watch some of my series that I enjoy watching, and I'll just sit there and cut and put them into a little envelope. Other than that, if you do have a silhouette or some form of cutting tool, and you know how to set it up to be able to cut round these on a sheet of paper, you're more than welcome to do that. The only thing I say is that you cannot sell or give away any of my images, as cutting files, etc. Or sell as stickers or anything like that. But you can use it for your own personal use for cutting out any of these sheets if you wish. Okay, so that's the monthly, and you can always decorate them however you want to on this page as well. So bearing in mind that it will take up probably a couple of dates, so be selective wherever you're going to put it. So if there's a weekend you're doing nothing or a particular day that you don't have plans, or just put it more so into your column. You can do whatever you like with the decorating there. Also, you've got the weekly. Oh, one thing I did want to say about this grid, which I don't know why it came to me last night, but I was thinking, if you wasn't using this as a monthly plan overview of your plans, it'd make a really good doodle page. You could do a doodle a day, and I really like that. Doodle a day. I actually make this page also a doodle of the day. So you could do your Zentangles, and just literally each day you can do a doodle or a little character draw, or even use it as what was you thankful for today, or what was memorable about today. It's entirely up to you. You don't have to use them. They are basically templates for you to do whatever you want to do with it. Okay, so this is your weekly, and again you've got your things to be able to decorate them and make them look all pretty however you like, and put your month days in. You can put your numbers in the actual square itself. Sorry about my sleeves. There at the side, at the top, wherever you like. You've got two versions of a pattern in this, because you're going to need quite a bit of white space for actually writing your plans on here. So again, they fit nicely over the squares, rectangles, for you to be able to use. So just to recap, this is the same content basically as the A5 that I went through. The only difference is the way you cut them out, print and cut them out. It is single pages, you cut them back to back. If you're going to follow my size, then ensure that one side has the grid, one side doesn't. You get double of everything in each of the folders for you to be able to decide which one has the grid on it. I think that's pretty much all I needed to sort of say about the larger size. It's really entirely up to you which is best for you. But just remember that these are pretty small rectangles, and if you need the bigger size to be able to decorate and plan, then the larger one is the one for you. So okay, the next video that I'm going to do is basically me filling one of these out, so you can see what one looks like when it's all coloured up, and all of the lovely creative images that I have in my store, and how I intend to use it, and you can just build on it from there. So for today I shall say bye, and look forward to seeing and talking to you the next time round. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.